The green section is now done, and we still have another 3 sections to go for the first part of the school mode. And so, let's now move on to part 2, the orange section. As we begin with this. Memorizing the course 1, the intricacies of driving on Tsukuba race circuits. So 2 minutes 52 is our gold time, and 2 minutes 55 is our silver time. And no limit for the bronze time. You basically just need to stay on track for 2 laps, and then you'll pretty much pass. Anyway, here we go. Time for lesson number 7.
Welcome to lesson 7. This lesson takes place on the Tsukuba circuit in Japan. At roughly 2 kilometers in length, Tsukuba circuit is relatively short. However, if you try for a record time, this circuit is a beast. The purpose of this lesson is not to break any records, it's to give you a good, relaxed look at the course. Again, you'll have plenty of time, so take it as slow as you like and drive cautiously. If you don't brake before corners to bring your speed down, you'll be off the track in no time, leading to disqualification. Once again, try to trace the ideal racing line displayed on the track. As you do this, consider what makes this the ideal line. Have a safe trip around this stylishly designed circuit where every corner, be it large or small, presents a unique challenge to the driver. Okay, good luck with your lesson.
As ever, Vicky, I always appreciate the motivation. So let's go. As we begin part 2 of school mode, do 2 laps of the Tsukuba circuit without driving off the track. You can proceed slowly without worrying unduly about the lap time, so take your time and try to memorize the course layout. And again, as I said before, 2 minutes 52 is what we need for a gold, and 2 minutes 55 is what we need for a silver. No limit for the bronze, but that's kind of what I was expecting. And so, we begin. I think we're driving another Toyota here if I'm not mistaken. I couldn't tell you what model it is, but I know it's a Toyota. I know that for sure. It's definitely a Toyota, I'm sure of that. Also, one thing that did surprise me in the previous episode is knowing how I was able to get... Basically, in 4 out of the 6 lessons I did in the green section, on 4 of those I got the gold first try, which in all honesty surprises even me. I was expecting myself to at least get 2 of those lessons with the gold first try, but 4, I can definitely say that's more than what I was anticipating. Just figured I'd mention that. But either way, it doesn't matter now because we're past the green section, and now we move on to the orange section. Which is also known as part 2 of the school mode. And first lap time I set a 1:27.9. And now we just have another lap to do here. I wouldn't expect a lot of you to get this on the gold first try, because to those of you who aren't exactly experienced with this game, this may take a little time to get used to, but once you do get used to it, you will understand just how much fun this game really is. And once you well and truly understand the intricacies of what this game gives you. because it basically has an amalgamation of different things that you can more or less learn to do, regardless of which car it is you drive. The idea is more or less to get yourself accustomed to how to properly drive cars in racing games, and understanding the similarities and differences between each of them. And just like that, I get the gold by 2.5 seconds. Can't really say I'm too surprised. But either way, once you get used to it, you will realise that this technically is easier than you think. And you know what? I'm actually going to get my replay here, because I just did 2 laps around the track. I think this car is called the Toyota BB, if I'm not mistaken. At least that's what it says there, but either way, it doesn't matter. I got the replay saved. Now let's move on to lesson number 2 of the orange section, also known as lesson 8. So we get the Toyota BBZ 1.5X version 2-wheel drive from 2000. I gotta say, for a boxy shaped car, it actually doesn't look too bad. But that's just what I think. Anyway, basic cornering. Practice the second hairpin corner on the Tsukuba circuit. So we need a 19.8 for a gold, 20 seconds for a silver, and 22.5 seconds to pass with a bronze. So let's get on with lesson number 8.
Welcome to lesson 8. Hopefully you got a good idea in lesson 7 of what the Tsukuba circuit is all about, because in this lesson you'll use a segment of that circuit. You'll practice cornering on a portion, beginning with the Dunlop bridge down to the second hairpin corner. A hairpin corner is sharp and long, so controlling your speed is very important. When you near the corner, brake hard and bring your speed right down. If you go too fast, you'll deviate from the ideal line. Learn exactly when to apply the brakes in order to turn correctly and follow the racing line. The racing line is an out-in-out manoeuvre as described in previous lessons. Try to remember the term clipping point, which is the spot at which the car runs closest to the inside of the corner. Also, remember the term understeer. This is when the car fails to respond to steering correctly as a result of failing to reduce speed sufficiently. So then, best of luck with your lesson.
There are 2 terms which refer, of course, to the car not responding to the steering. The first of those 2 terms, as Vicky mentioned, is understeer, and the other one is oversteer. Basically, understeer is when the front wheels fail to respond to you turning the steering wheel, and the front wheels basically don't want to go with as much movement as you want to give them. Whereas oversteer is basically the rear wheels failing to... Whereas oversteer is basically the rear wheels not wanting to respond to you steering, and you're basically sliding outwards. In both cases, you technically can slide off course, but that's why you have to use the brakes, so you're not subjected to understeer or oversteer. I think Richard Hammond probably does a better job of explaining both of those than I probably ever could. And he also explains which one of those 2 is better. This is probably going to take a few tries for me to get it right, but I more or less know what to do here. So, 19.66 was my first time set. So now I just need to gain less than 2/10 to get the gold. Let's try this again. and see how long it takes. Can I get it this time? It's gonna be close. Oh yeah, we got it this time. Got it by 5 thousandths of a second. Is by how much I got that gold. Well, took me a fair share of tries, but we got there eventually. We are Gucci, and that is now lesson 2 of the orange section done, as we have now got the Mitsubishi Colt. Now we move on to lesson number 9. Racing through an S-bend. Try a straight racing line through consecutive bends. So we need 16.5 seconds for a gold, 17 seconds for a silver, and 18 seconds for a bronze. Now I will hand you over to Vicky once again.
Welcome to lesson 9. For this lesson, you'll be driving through an old Italian town filled with beautiful scenery. You'll learn how to handle consecutive corners at high speeds. An S-bend refers to right and left-hand corners that come quickly one after another. If you were an ordinary driver on the public road, you could take these corners by simply following the turns back and forth. However, steering hard to the left and then hard to the right prevents you from maintaining your speed. So, as a racing driver, you must skim the apexes of the two corners, taking a route that is as close as possible to a straight line. That way, you can easily negotiate the corners with a minimal amount of steering, and that will increase the speed at which you can exit the corners. So, anytime you come up against S-bends, use minimal steering and try to take the straightest line possible. The straighter the line, the more you can hit the accelerator and the faster you can get through the curves. Think of it in this way. Minimal steering can straighten out the most twisting of tracks. That's what you should take away from this lesson. Best of luck with this challenge.
And for this lesson, we are on the Italian street course, and where the car we are driving is a Daihatsu Copen. Learn how to tackle an S-bend on part of the Italian street course. Try to follow the line that connects the apex of both corners and memorize the fastest racing line. So those are my target times. Let's get on with lesson number 9 and see if we can wrangle this Daihatsu Copen through these two corners, since I do more or less have an understanding of what it is I need to do here. And oh, okay. I did not think that was going to be gold first try, but I basically went through that corner as accurately as a surgeon, and I got the gold first try. How I did that, I will likely never know, but I was not expecting myself to get the gold on that one first try. That is unbelievable, even coming from me. But there we are, gold first try in lesson number 9. I think it's fair to say my prior experience is helping me immensely with these first 2 sections of school mode, which is part of the reason why I'm currently doing so well. But anyway, there we go. And now, let's move on to lesson number 10, which takes place at Grand Canyon. Basics of cornering on a dirt surface. learn the subtleties of drifting your car through corners. And those are our target times. Let's move on to the lesson overview. Here we go.
Welcome to Lesson 10. This lesson takes place on a segment of the long Grand Canyon rally course. Hopefully you got a feel for driving on a dirt course in Lesson 6. Well, keep that lesson in mind as you learn how to gain further control over the car. As you approach a corner, apply the brakes to lower your speed as if you were racing on tarmac. This time, however, the difference is in the details. The proper technique for driving on a dirt course is to tap the brake just for a moment as you steer. When you brake while steering, the rear tyres will lose grip and you'll feel the car move more towards the outside than it would with the usual amount of steering. This effect is known as a drift. Add some braking to your steering to bring the car under control. This is the most important dirt racing technique. Make sure you get a feel for it. Okay then, best of luck with the lesson.
So here we go, with one corner of the Grand Canyon rally course, and we are driving a Subaru Legacy. Here we go. Learn how to drive at speed on a dirt surface through the deep corner of the Grand Canyon course. Notice how you can cause the car to drift through the corners when you steer and brake simultaneously. Or simultaneously to those of you who live in Britain like I do. But anyway, those are our target times. So we need 12 seconds for a gold, 12.5 seconds for a silver, and 13.5 seconds for a bronze. From what I know at least, this lesson shouldn't be too hard to get the gold. So let's try and see if we can do just that. Hopefully without clipping the wall. Got a little bit loose there. How far off are we going to be? Okay, 3/10. Oh well, let's try this again. As I am trying not to use the wall to get to the gold. I am trying to do this with discipline, and discipline is precisely what I do it with. By scoring the gold with 4 thousandths of a second to spare, I get it done. And there we go. So, 4 lessons down. And now we can move on to the coffee break. As I showed, it is possible to get the gold on this test fair and square. And that's without cheating as well. Because I want to show it is possible to do this fair and square. And that's precisely what I did. So there we go. 4 lessons are down in the orange section. And I need to be somewhere for a few minutes, so I will be back in a bit. But next up, we have the coffee break. And before we get on with that, I have got a few things to do, so I'm going to be AFK for at least 10 minutes, but either way, I'll be back soon. Here we go. Okay, let's do this. 4 lessons are down here in school mode. And now it is time for us to get on with lesson number... coffee break 1. Knock over all cones in a figure of 8 pattern. So Our gold time is 24 seconds and our silver time is 27 seconds. And we don't have to worry about the bronze time because, well, we can basically just take our time with this. However, I will of course be going for the gold because that's what I do.
Now it's time for a coffee break. The coffee breaks are bonus stages that use the Gran Turismo driving system and are designed to give you a change in pace. You'll proceed to the next stage whether you pass or not, so there's no pressure. Cones have been arranged in a figure of 8 on the Gymkhana in the driving park. The rules are simple. Just touch all of the cones in the shortest possible time. You can start the figure of 8 at any point, so go for it. You don't have to knock over the cones, just touch them and they'll simply disappear. Enjoy your coffee break.
Oh, here we go. Might as well show the rest of the run whilst I'm here, just so you've got an idea of what to more or less do. Okay, let's now get through the coffee break. It's time for a coffee break. Hit all the cones arranged in a figure of 8 pattern on the Gymkhana as fast as you can. No stress, just try for the best time. Alright, here we go. And we'll see how long this takes. This could take a while, but I am convinced in saying I can at least get myself within the parameters of a silver. Or if not, then I'll still pass anyway. Okay. I am a second flat behind the goal time. That is very ironic. Although then again, I'm not too surprised by it. So we need to gain dead on a second in order for us to officially get the gold. So here we go. So, let's see how we do. Hey! We get the gold by over 3/10. So there we go. 23.94 seconds is the gold time we get from coffee break number 1. Cool. And now we just have 2 lessons to go. And then we will be done with the orange section, as we have now got the Daihatsu Mira. I just had to clear my throat there for a second. Anyway. 2 lessons to go in the orange section. High-speed braking. Advanced braking with a high-powered car. So, we need a 32.7 in order to pass. 31.4 seconds is the gold time, and the silver time is 31.75. I have no doubt in saying we're going to be back at Fuji Speedway once again. Anyway, here we go.
Welcome to Lesson 11. In Lesson 3, you practice braking on the straight of the Fuji International Speedway. This lesson is another chance to polish your braking skills, but with greatly increased speed. Now you can get a feel for full braking at much higher speeds than before. For a circuit racer, braking at speeds in excess of 200 km an hour is not uncommon. These are fierce speeds, and the distance required to bring the car to a stop after hitting the brakes is longer than expected. Use this lesson to ensure you don't miss the necessary braking point. Of course, the main principle is no different from lesson 3. The trick is to remember a physical location that signifies the point at which you hit the brakes. If you follow this advice, you'll be coming to a stop in the correct position in no time. Best of luck with the lesson.
And the car we are driving for this is a Mercedes-Benz SL55 AMG. So, let's get on with it. Learn how to brake at speed using the home straight of Fuji Speedway. Despite the high speed, look for the ideal braking points as learned in lesson 3. Those are our target times, already explained those, don't need to explain those again. Let's actually get on with this. And we shall see how we go with what is now lesson number 11. One lesson to go after this one. Let's see how long it is before we get the gold. And what do you know? I wind up getting the gold first try. And part of the reason I did that is because, well, I did not shift up into 5th gear, which would have made me not reach the braking zone. It probably would have put me past it, but either way, there we go. Oh, I did not mean to do that. That was entirely an accident. But anyway, 31.3 seconds is what I set on my first run, and believe it or not, I got the gold first try. As well as the Mercedes SL55 AMG, as I said before. So yeah, there is that. Alright, final lesson of the orange section, and then we can move on to the blue section. Racing line through an S-bend. 2. Master the challenge of Fuji Speedway's B corner. So, 19.8 is what we need for a gold, 20 seconds flat is what we need for a silver, and 21 seconds flat is what we need for a bronze. So we now begin our final lesson of the orange section.
Welcome to lesson 12. In this lesson, you'll learn how to drive through a series of corners on a different portion of Fuji International Speedway. You'll be practicing on the B corners, a section of track made up of 3 consecutive small bends. Take a look at the ideal line displayed on the track, and you'll notice that one of the lines through the corners does not follow the ordinary out-in-out trajectory. This line is designed to allow for the fastest possible exit from the B corners. This will determine the speed with which you can take the upcoming final corner, and in turn the maximum speed with which you can enter the straight that follows. Racers consider the speed averaged over the entire course, not just the speed of individual corners. So in this lesson, you can learn this too. Good luck!
As ever, Vicky, I always appreciate the motivation. And I feel like I'm probably going to keep saying that until the end of the game. Because I really don't know how to be appreciative enough of the advice. Either way, that's our demo run, as displayed twice. So let's now get on with this. Learn how to tackle bends using Fuji Speedway's B corner. Become accustomed to taking the right line by accounting for the speed of the course as a whole. Well, here we go. Our 6th and final lesson of the orange section. And immediately a fail. We just have to keep trying until we get there, basically. Yeah, still can't believe I didn't fail as a result of going off the track. I'm pretty sure if that was a split second more, I probably would have failed. Nonetheless, don't matter now. First two completed attempts, I got a bronze, and then on my third attempt, I got the gold. Which, in all honesty, is very surprising to me. But there we go. Got the gold by 0.4 of a second in lesson number 12. And now we will unlock the Volkswagen Lupo GTI Cup car from 2003. I should also mention... oh, hold on. So, and for getting all gold in the orange section, we unlock the BMW Concept M5. This model of M5, by the way, is my personal favourite.
Nice work. You finished the orange section. Next, try your hand at the blue section.
Okay, two things. First of all, the VW Lupo, it does come with alternate paint schemes because, well, obviously, you know, it's a race car. And secondly, that is now the end of the orange section. And if I take a look at my progress now, you will notice we are more or less halfway there with part 1 of school mode. And next time we will be doing the blue section, coming in the next episode of GT4 Prologue.